Don't feel like going home, but all my cash is gone. Yeah, I got nothing to do tonight.
Right now, it's time for Tom Maoli's Go Big or Go Home show. Tom Maoli's Go Big or Go Home show will explain how you can start a business, grow your business, fund your idea, or the next multi-million-dollar invention, or how to buy that piece of real estate you've always wanted. Now's your chance to hear it live, right from the serial entrepreneur. It's Tom Maoli's Go Big or Go Home show. Here's Tom Maoli.
Go big or go.
Hi, it's Tom Maoli, serial entrepreneur. Welcome back Sunday night. Thank you for the last shows. We're going to have an amazing show, no pun intended tonight. An amazing show. We have a special guest. The man is amazing, and it is the Amazing Kreskin. We're going to get back to his bio and talk about Kreskin, but the purpose of this show, so everyone knows, I think you've heard it week after week, is for people to learn how to start businesses, build businesses, get out of the cubicle, build wealth, how to get on the road to success. Phones are open. We take phone calls from callers who want questions answered. It's 1-800-848-WABC or 1-800-848-9222. It's go big. What does go big or go home mean? Go big or go home means you do it right. If you're going to go in business, if you're going to start a business, if you're going to do something, you do it right. You go all the way. You don't go halfway. The goal here is to benefit the listeners, the people that are stuck in corporate America. They want to get out from behind the cubicle. They want to build wealth. They want to figure out how to build a retirement, build a future for their children. Most people want to do it. They don't know how to do it. Our goal here is to teach them how to do it. Tonight we have an absolute amazing guest. And, the lineup just keeps getting better and better every week. The phones have been going off the hook. The emails are coming in during the week. The website is on fire. We have here the Amazing Kreskin. Amazing Kreskin. Kreskin has 21 published books. Unbelievable. 21 published books. 88 appearances on the Johnny Carson show. Kreskin, congratulations. Absolutely amazing. More appearances than anyone else on the Johnny Carson and Jimmy Fallon show than any other performer. I mean, who has that resume? It's unbelievable, Kreskin. Born in Montclair, New Jersey. I'm from Nutley, New Jersey, so very close. It's amazing. It must be the water there, Kreskin. It must be the water. We drink that water down in Nutley and Montclair, and it must bring success. But we'll talk about that. Kreskin also works with law enforcement agencies and teaches them psychology. Psychology is so important in business, and we'll talk about it. We'll get into the details of it. It's so important because it's, as I say week after week, it's a state of mind. You got to flick the switch in your mind. People are in fear. They live in fear. They sit in these cubicles. You got to flick the switch in your mind. It's all about his psychology. Kreskin's going to help us with that tonight. Kreskin is so famous, world-renowned. The guy had his own TV series and his own board game. Kreskin, I don't know where to start. I really don't. I mean, Milton Bradley produces a game about you. You had your own TV series. You had more appearances on Johnny Carson and Jimmy Fallon than any other performer. You're world-renowned, books upon books upon books. Tell me about it a little bit. Tell me about your success. Because really, when you peel back the onion, Kreskin, you're an entrepreneur.
Well, Tom, and by the way, all clarification, yeah, I did 88 shows with Carson. I haven't done that anywhere near that many with Fallon, but with Regis, 125 shows. There was a Mike Douglas show years ago that was on for years.
Wow, I didn't even know about the Regis shows. 125 shows with Regis filming.
And more shows with Mike Douglas than anyone in history as well. But
wow, that's amazing, Kreskin.
I think
that's amazing. Congratulations.
But I want to congratulate you because, Tom, and folks, I got to say this. I read yesterday and then again today this gentleman, Tom's background, and you are when I look at the list of companies that you've been involved in, not just auto companies, but other projects, and then the charities and what have you. And then even involved as a member at one point of a fundraising team for a certain person that's now president of the United States. You are, what have you not touched?
Yeah, well, thank you. But I want to say something about that because I find that very interesting. I was involved in it. I was a personal friend, President of the United States.
Right.
I was involved in his fundraising. I was involved in his finance committee, and I find it amazing. And I didn't know this, but on December 9th, 2015, Fox Good Day show in Washington D.C.
That's right.
You predicted Donald Trump as the next president.
Well, what happened, Tom, was it was a very bizarre experience because, yes, I predicted the last 4 presidential elections, and in the case of 2012, I went on the Jimmy Fallon show, and I've had a rule, Tom. I've never publicly announced, in the case of presidential predictions, who I felt was going to win, because you get blamed by some people will say, well, he's supporting this person or he's being paid to cause more votes. So I always kept it secret. So when I went on the Fallon show, NBC put it in a safe, and my prediction was delivered 1.5 years before. But in the case of last year's election, I decided, nope, I'm not going to get involved. Absolutely not. I announced to all the press was calling. I said, I'm not going to make a prediction this year, because I said, if you go on my webpage, you see all these pictures of me with Donald Trump. Yes, I performed in his home. You see all those pictures with Clinton, because I performed so much in Washington. That's why you see me with her and everything else. So I'm going to stay clear. And then it was very interesting. It got to about a day before the election, and some people came to me and I said, everybody's saying that Clinton's going to win and so forth. My intuition tells me for a long time otherwise. So in a store window in New York, a multi-million-dollar women's store, the owner said, let's put it in a safe in the window. Just these 24 hours, I'll have a guard sit there next to the safe. The next day was election day. The next day they're driving to a broadcast center in New York at night, because the newsman said, I want this to go on the internet. I get to the studio. He said, well, did you see Fox? I said, what in God's name are you talking about? Everybody's opening the windows saying, Kreskin, I saw you on Fox. I've been on for a few weeks. They said, don't you remember a year ago? I said, what do you mean? It turns out, and Fox sent me a copy, on November of 2015, I was performing in Washington, D.C. They had me on a show in the morning, and unfortunately, I had been sent some regrettable news about someone I'm very close to in my family, and I was told this like 45 minutes before I went on the air. You don't go on publicly with something very or negatively in your mind, but I'm used to conditioning myself.
Well, especially when you're a mentalist and a thought reader. I mean, that's,
yes. So I'm going on the air, and when you look at it, folks, it's on my webpage. It's the appearance in November 9th or 8th on Fox in Washington, 2015. I look preoccupied and overtired. And as I'm sitting there talking, someone says, well, Kreskin, the election's 11 months from now. Who's going to win? I said, I don't want to get in trouble with him because I've been in his home and so forth, so I'm not going to say, because he's going to, and literally saying Donald Trump without saying it. So it became clear, and psychologists said to me, probably because I was so preoccupied that my unconscious came through with what I inwardly knew was going to be the winner of the election. So it was literally 1 year ahead of time. And I got interviewed all over the world because people said, you never make predictions. And I didn't know this. And by the way, I say this, I swear this is true. I have no memory of ever saying that. And when I watch it, I know I'm on the air, but I don't remember. That's how it came out of my unconscious. So, my life's sometimes an adventure. And I can't explain everything that happens to me. That's all I can say.
Well, listen, you're a brilliant guy.
Well,
clearly, you're a mentalist and a thought reader. You're not a psychic. That's not what you do.
Not a fortune teller.
Right, you're not a fortune teller, exactly. And clearly, when the subconscious comes through is when the reality comes through.
And you know what happens? People have asked me through the years, how can you, I've been interviewed because I've done over 1,000 university shows in this country and Canada, all through the years, and I've been interviewed and say, well, how do you come to do this? And I said, first of all, I travel constantly. I've flown the airline industry as of last year. Estimates it's either 3 or 3.5 million miles I've flown in my lifetime.
Wow.
And there's been some years I've been only home like 4 days a month. 2 years ago, if you count, we haven't gotten to last year, but if you counted all the radio, television, and concert appearances 2 years ago, it was exactly 364 appearances around the world. And, so my life is like but because I have an interesting phenomena dealing with my work, and that is, and you understand this as Tom as well as anyone ever could, there are no footlights between myself and my audience, because whether it's the Minnesota State Fair, which was 10,000, the Oregon State Fair, which was 30,000, or a few nights ago, and I'm going to tell you a story about the last couple of nights, which was a few hundred, my audience is an extension of what I do. They're not coming in to watch a performance of gymnastics, and they're not coming to listen. They're coming in to contribute their thinking, and I'm zeroing in on their thoughts. And to be honest with you, when I joke, and my show last night was like 2 hours in length. When I kid the audience something political and what have you, it sets off a response in their thinking, and I get a pretty much strong image of how a lot of them are tending to shift. And that's how, through the years, I've gotten an idea of what was going on.
Excellent. Well, hold that thought, Kreskin.
Right.
We're going to take a commercial break.
You got to have commercials. They pay the freight.
Hey, listen, somebody's got to pay the freight. We're going to have to do it. We're going to have to take a commercial break. It's when we come back, the phone lines will be open. We want to hear more from Kreskin. The guy is amazing. He's absolutely, listen, he's called Amazing Kreskin for a reason. He's amazing. We're going to tell you more about Kreskin. The phone line will be open to ask questions for Kreskin. It's 1-800-848-WABC or 1-800-848-9222. It's Go Big or Go Home. Tom Maoli with the Amazing Kreskin. We'll see you in a few minutes. Get your questions ready.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
By the time I reached 1 year period, I had lost 2 inches off my waist, and I lost 17 pounds.
I think they're part of the reason that I was able to shake 10 pounds, and I think because the support, nutritional support. My blood pressure significantly is so low now compared to what it was. I think I'm doing great with it.
You've got a good product. It's just amazing.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code WABC. That's promo code WABC.
Step up and stand out in the 2017 fall collection from Aquitalia. Italian-made men's and women's footwear and accessories distinctively fashioned for those who appreciate distinctive fashion. Using fine leathers and suedes, Aquitalia's exclusive process adds exceptional softness and the ultimate luxury of weatherproofing and stain resistance. See the new fall styles at aquitalia.com and visit their flagship at 965 Madison Avenue. Aquitalia, whatever the weather.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-466-9625. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-466-9625.
77 WABC.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
To learn more about our programs and to donate, go to carsforkids.com. That's Cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll also get a vacation voucher and maximum tax deduction.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Also accepting boats, motorcycles, RVs, and real estate donations.
If you or a loved one has been the victim of nursing home abuse, call the law offices of Minkus and Grossman at 1-833-3-BED-SORE. If you believe you or someone you love has experienced bed sores, falls, fractures, or other abuse or health problems as a result of inattention while being cared for in a nursing home or residential facility, call the law office of Minkus and Grossman at 1-833-3-BED-SORE. Minkus and Grossman are experienced litigators who, along with their team of seasoned professionals, have won verdicts of $19.6 million, $15 million, $5 million, and $3 million for victims of nursing home abuse. When we entrust our loved ones in the care of others, we expect them to be treated with care, kindness, and compassion. If you've not received this type of care, the law offices of Minkus and Grossman want to hear from you. Call 1-833-3-BED-SORE. That's 1-833-3-BED-SORE or 833-323-3767. Prior results do not guarantee similar outcome. Minkus and Grossman, fighting for you and your family.
77 WABC.
Go big or go. Go big or go home. Go big or go home. Go big or go home. Go big or go home.
Hi, we're back. It's Tom Maoli, serial entrepreneur. Go big or go home. Phone lines are open. 1-800-848-WABC. 1-800-848-9222. We have the amazing Kreskin. The phone calls are coming in, Kreskin. And we have a phone call now. We have Terry from Westchester who has a question for the amazing Kreskin. Go ahead, Terry. How you doing?
All right, gentlemen.
The wrong ear, one in my ear, huh? Terry, wait a minute. You there, Terry?
Go
Yes,
ahead.
I'm here.
Terry?
This is a great show. Now, amazing. Through the years on talk radio, I was able to not make predictions, but be able to say things and solve things. You know, like the Beltway sniper case when they were saying I said there was two shooters that were concealing themselves. I was able to do this from watching TV. Also, on the presidential election last year, I was able to really look at the race real closely and say it's going to come down to maybe 6 states. I was able to put Trump in Michigan on the last day of the campaign, only because I know Trump was talking jobs and he was addressing certain issues.
Oh, that's good.
That the candidates normally would never address. Immigration, certain things he would bring up. That's the thing I'm going to. Are you able to just look at things around you and like extrapolate into the future, or able to come with conclusions?
You know, Terry, that's very interesting what you had to say, that you that by observing and listening you came to conclusions, because then intuitively you put all that together, and not all consciously, and you were successful in all those incidents, right? Is that what you said, Terry, in each scenario?
Yes, exactly, because in the Beltway sniper case, they kept talking about, it's a guy in a white van. And I kept saying, well, how many white vans cross that intersection? That's a busy intersection. People sometimes immediately don't really know what's going on. I was able to put at least 2 shooters together concealing themselves in that area. That's what I'm saying to you. Can you look at the overall picture and able to remove things that would not be really fit and put things in there that would?
It's to a degree, yes. I'm usually constantly working with people's thinking when I'm called in on crime cases. But I have to tell you something, because I do seminars. They've not been publicized, but the people want me to go public and do seminars for large audiences. I've done seminars for law enforcement people and what have you. The problem, Terry, in law enforcement, in the problem of what's happening in our lives today, is one of congestion. We're becoming filled with such an overstimuli of ideas, noises, sounds, and what have you, that people actually sit down and go out to eat, and of course this is no big observation, but I'm saying this sarcastically. People actually go out to eat with people they're in love with or people they like and so forth, and put a cell phone on the table in front of them. Let me tell you what this is telling unconsciously. And sociologists say, Kreskin, why don't you ram this in to the people today to understand. Years ago, if you were in love with someone, you had faith in someone, you were interested in someone, unless you needed a telephone call because of the business you were in, you didn't divide your attention between a machine and the person you were talking to. And that's what's happening now. And what's happening today, Terry, and I prove this endlessly, is that people are not hearing what each other say. And I'm not talking about unintelligent people. I'm talking about very intelligent. Just a few days ago in a performance I was at before the show, we talked to a few people, and the reporter with me said, "Oh my God, they didn't hear you properly." And when I asked someone, and I'm not criticizing them for doing it, it's because we become over jammed. Let me give you an example. I've done this, maybe 70 times in my life. I do a lot of shows for private corporate groups. And sometimes they'll allow a reporter to come with me. Usually they want to keep them quiet because it's only for their people, their staff. And the reporter's with me, and sometimes I'll talk to the audience, whatever their business is, and say, we're not hearing each other as much anymore. It's not your fault. We're being taught to do this by our families, by the radio, not the radio, because the radio is an important listening device, but by noise being on maybe in the background and what have you that no one's paying attention to. After a show, a reporter's still with me, and I say, sir, you're here to do a story on me. I'm going into a VIP meeting. They want to thank me. It's not going to be all 300 or 200. It's only going to be a few of the staff. Would you come in with me and give me your word? Stand 2 feet behind me and listen to what I'm doing. They say, okay, Kreskin, okay. So I'm invited back in, and they're all standing there. Oh, we enjoyed your performance tremendously. I go up to the president and say, sir, I just raped your wife. What did you think of the first part of the program? He said, Kreskin, I loved it with so much yesterday. I go to the second person. I say, I just raped your wife. Sometimes there's a slight change of expression. And then they'll go on talking to me because they know whatever. They couldn't hear it. And reporters say, oh, my God, when they write this, he said this to 10 people. No one ever heard it. The reason is simple. Our minds are so programmed to think in certain ways that we often hear what we expect to hear. And consequently, as I'm warning all over the world, we're beginning to lose our communication. Thanks for calling, sir, and we'll pursue this further. Good to talk to you.
Kreskin, that's a big bell. That is so true. That and that's in business too. If you just listen to your customers and listen to what they want, you can provide them what their needs are. It's not about, in my business, it's not about selling a car or building a piece of real estate. It's about listening. It's listening to what they want and your employees. And if you listen to that, it's so easy to weave everything together and become successful. And that's what I'm trying to preach, trying to teach people that, but they don't listen.
The other thing is, and my brother was a policeman 18 years, and I've been called on 86 crime cases. I was only able to help in about a third of them, but I was able to. I've got it, and rarely have they been publicized, but I'll tell you a couple of incidents that are extraordinarily dramatic. But the bottom line is,
hold that thought. We're going to talk about that. That's okay. We have one more caller, and then we're going to take a commercial break. Okay. We have Mike from Paramus. Mike from Paramus has a question for you, Kreskin.
I should have finished what I was saying.
We're going to talk about the 88 crimes. I want to hear about that.
The bottom line is that when I work with law enforcement people, with my seminars, I teach them how to do something it's very difficult for them to do, to look at what just happened earlier today, as horrendous as it was, and look at it more objectively, because it's hard for them to do because of the busyness of the horror of what was going on.
Correct.
We got a phone call coming in.
Correct. We got a phone call coming in. We'll talk more about that. It's Mike from Paramus. Mike from Paramus has a question for Kreskin. Go ahead, Mike.
How are you, Mike?
Hey, Kreskin, how are you today, sir?
I got some extraordinarily good news. I'm sober. I'm only joking, Mike, but you want to know something? And hear me, Mike, and all of you folks listening, and hear me. If we any further lose our ability to laugh at ourselves, we are in damn trouble in this country, because in the Second World War, as a little boy, and we had a war going on, you had movies like with Jack Benny, where one of his characters was a person that looked like Adolf Hitler, and he was mocking him and everything else. If we lose our ability to laugh at ourselves, we are in serious trouble. Now, what were you going to say?
Amen, Kreskin. On the money. Go ahead, Mike.
Kreskin, I've been laughing at myself ever since
I like your attitude and I like your spirit and the way you comment.
Well, thank you very much, sir. I do appreciate it. And I really looked up to you a long, long time ago. I remember watching you on the Johnny Carson show. And I'm kind of curious, how did you get that first gig with like a national thing like Johnny Carson? How did you build that brand? How did you get his attention?
Can I tell this story right now, Tom? Can I answer him fully on this?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. We have a few minutes before a commercial break. Then we're going to take a commercial break.
How many minutes did you say before? About how many?
We got 2 minutes.
Yeah, I can't tell you the story now, but when we come back on the air, wait till I tell you the story of how I got involved on the Carson show. It's got to become a scenario in a documentary because it reads like a story out of fiction. You stay tuned.
I want to hear about it. Let's go to the commercial break. When we get back, Mike, why don't you hang on or just listen on the radio. Kreskin will tell us how he got involved. I think it's important because it's kind of like starting a business. How do you get in, right? Kreskin's going to talk about how he got in to the Johnny Carson show. No different than how do you get into a business, how do you get out of the cubicle, how do you get on the road to success and building wealth. When we come back, we're going to hear what Kreskin has to say. I want to tell you more about Kreskin. I haven't even told you about Kreskin.
I don't know about
myself. I've got 4 sheets of a resume here
don't worry about it.
I need an hour to read about Kreskin. But we'll do more when we come back. We're going to take a commercial break. It's Go Big or Go Home. 1-800-848-WABC. The phone lines are open. Get your questions ready. Call in. We'll be back in a few.
Ingrid was 27 weeks pregnant with twins when she learned one had an ominous buildup of fluid around its heart and lungs. She turned to the region's leader in fetal surgery, NYU Winthrop Hospital.
They told me one baby was dying and my other baby and I were in danger. They had to operate on the baby, still inside me right away.
That afternoon, NYU Winthrop's fetal surgery team implanted a shunt to drain the fluid from the baby's chest. The situation improved, but a later ultrasound showed the baby had pulled the shunt out.
They had to do it all again.
Finally, at 34 weeks, babies Ismael and Noah were delivered by C-section. Noah soon went home, but Ismael stayed behind, so an NYU Winthrop pediatric surgeon could remove the mass on his tiny lungs that had caused all the problems.
Today, both my boys are doing great. To me, the amazing people at NYU Winthrop are angels. They saved our lives.
Call 1-866-WINTHROP about our renowned fetal surgery program or visit nyuwinthrop.org. NYU Winthrop Hospital. Your health means everything.
If you or a loved one has been the victim of nursing home abuse, call the law offices of Minkus and Grossman at 1-833-3-BED-SORE. If you believe you or someone you love has experienced bed sores, falls, fractures, or other abuse or health problems as a result of inattention while being cared for in a nursing home or residential facility, call the law office of Minkus and Grossman at 1-833-3-BED-SORE. Minkus and Grossman are experienced litigators who, along with their team of seasoned professionals, have won verdicts of $19.6 million, $15 million, $5 million, and $3 million for victims of nursing home abuse. When we entrust our loved ones in the care of others, we expect them to be treated with care, kindness, and compassion. If you've not received this type of care, the law offices of Minkus and Grossman want to hear from you. Call 1-833-3-BED-SORE. That's 1-833-3-BED-SORE or 833-323-3767. Prior results do not guarantee similar outcome. Minkus and Grossman, fighting for you and your family. WABC New York.
Risks and disclosures. Message and data rates may apply. This is not tax or legal advice. Please speak to your CPA and attorney before investing. Accredited investors only. Real estate has no guarantees for income or appreciation, and a complete loss of principal is possible. Securities offered through Wealthforge Securities, LLC, member FINRA SIPC.
Are you thinking of a 1031 exchange? Tired of managing your own rental property and dealing with tenants, toilets, and trash? Want to defer your taxes on the sale of appreciated real estate? Hi, I'm Dwight Kay, CEO of Kay Properties and Investments, and we specialize in 1031 exchange replacement properties, triple net, DST, and TIC. We help investors nationwide, and I want to help you too. In fact, I'll send you a free copy of my book on 1031 exchanges, how they work, things to look out for, and strategies others may not know. Plus, I'll send you a list of currently available 1031 properties also for free.
For your free 1031 exchange book and free property list, just text the word GUIDE to 543-543 now. It's a free book and a free list with no obligations to you. Again, text GUIDE to 543-543. GUIDE to 543-543.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I have a $1,200 knee brace because I have bone on bone in my left knee, and I have a torn cartilage in my right knee. And since I've been taking Balance of Nature, I don't wear my brace, and I can walk without pain. It's I had these copper things I used to put on my knees. I don't use those either. I don't use anything. I think it's just wonderful.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code WABC. That's promo code WABC. Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. Order today.
77 WABC.
Go big or go. Go big or go home. Go big or go home. Go big or go home. Go big or go.
We're back. It's Tom Maoli, serial entrepreneur. Go big or go home. Phone lines are open, 800-848-WABC, 800-848-9222. Calls are backing up. We have the Amazing Kreskin. Unbelievable. Can't believe this guy's on the show. He's absolutely amazing. We're going to talk about his resume a little bit. Somebody asked him a question about the Johnny Carson show, and we'll talk about that. And Kreskin, you're so right with communication. You know the biggest problem with communication is we don't listen to understand. We listen to reply, and that's the issue. You got to listen to understand.
And the other thing that needs to be done, it isn't just listening, folks. No, there's another step, which is practically lost in culture today. But if you read biographies, and I've read over 1,000 biographies, as Howard Stern has mentioned many, many times. I read 4 books a day, and the library's been photographed by the BBC. It's over 8,000 books now. But the thing, if you read the
do you really read them, or you just know what they say?
No, I don't speed read.
Okay.
I
speed read, but go ahead.
It takes me about 12 minutes to read a novel. About 12 minutes to read a novel.
Okay.
And those of you who heard me on the Howard Stern show when that reading authority called in and said, you can't read a technical book in 25, 30 minutes. When I read every single word I read through.
Interesting.
It just takes me about to read a novel 12 to 14 minutes.
Because I could read the first page, the last page, and one page in the middle, and I know exactly what the book's about.
Well, I can't do that. I need to read the whole thing. But by the way, folks, before you think this is impossible, just remember, when you learn to read, you never learn to read silently. You were told by your teacher no longer to speak. So most people, when they read the amount of time it takes to hear the words in their head. But listen to this. When you look at the word philanthropic or organization, you don't start with the word letter O and you go to N. You see it all at once. I reached a point that I can see a whole paragraph all at once, and it's not as Stern showed when I read books. Because sometimes when I'm on talk shows for 5 hours, I'll read every author's book just a half hour before the show goes on. But I don't say that to brag. My point of the matter is, if you read the stories of great entrepreneurs, all of them, the ones that succeeded, found a way of stopping the world and getting off. Einstein. I'm sorry.
Kreskin, you are so right. I'm an entrepreneur. The whole show's about entrepreneurship. It is absolutely right. You got to focus. You got to put your blinders on. I always tell, put your blinders on.
And remember this: Einstein, when he was teaching, after he left Germany, when he saw the onslaught of Hitler and anti-Semitism, and he came to this country. And by the way, thank God he picked up the phone and called Franklin Delano Roosevelt and said, "There's something that you don't understand and your people understand, called nuclear energy and so forth, because had the war lasted had the World War II lasted a few more years longer, Hitler would have won World War II."
Yeah, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here. Kreskin wouldn't be here.
But Einstein, as people told me here in New Jersey at the university he taught at, every few days he would leave and get into a rowboat and row it out into the middle of the lake and pull all his oars in. No, he didn't have some manifestation, some formula. He sat there and let the rowboat drift as he reflected.
Yep.
John F. Kennedy, which very few people know about, people who worked with him told me this.
Love John F. Kennedy.
When his military left or his financial advisors left in the large, he went to his room, still in his suit and everything else. He closed the door, and his secretary realized not to disturb him. because with the door closed, he read trash magazines. He read crap magazines all over the place to get his mind off of what he was consciously aware of, so his unconscious, when he set things aside, started awakening.
Needed to clear his mind. Kreskin, the phones, I got 15 phone calls here, but we're going to grab Gary from East Haven, Connecticut. Gary, go ahead. He's got a question for Kreskin.
Gentlemen, this is a fascinating show.
Oh, Gary, thanks, Gary.
I'm Kreskin. I'm going to pay you a humongous compliment. Your mind and thought process is exactly the same as General George Washington and President George Washington.
Gary, we love you. We love you, Gary. We love you. And honestly, when you're in business and you're an entrepreneur and you want to build a business, start a business, whatever you want to, it's all about your mind. I keep saying week after week, flick the switch in your brain, change your thought process. Go ahead, get Kreskin while you got him.
Okay, here we go. Because George Washington was very deliberate, very slow in his thought process, but his final conclusion was final, and he was
Gary.
the other guys, founding fathers, were amazed by this man, and it couldn't have been all luck without.
No,
with
it wasn't. No,
Without-
and Gary, you know, like I talk about Carson and reading all the pulp magazines and you know and so forth, and Einstein sitting. But you know what I do every night for 20 minutes? Now I'm 82 years old, but I jog. I just run for 20 minutes every night. But but listen to me, Gary. I do not have earphones in my ear because I need to listen to something else, and that's my own inner thoughts.
And I'm also a believer that you don't watch much TV, and the jogging does stimulate the oxygen.
Now, listen, if you watch TV, you know who we'd see? The Amazing Kreskin.
Yeah,
Gary, thanks for calling in. We appreciate it. We're going to take the next call. It's Joan from Long Island. Go ahead, Joan.
How's it going, Joan? How's it going, Joan?
Fine. My question is, can you plant an idea in someone else's mind?
Yes, I've done it. People see me in performances. That's a whole nother scenario that would take another hour, because you have to understand, and this is why there's so much talk to me about a couple of specials. You understand that one of the great experiences of my life when I was tried by a jury. Yes, yours truly was tried in the 1980s by a jury. Nobody would dare sue me anymore because, as researchers and psychiatrists say, Kreskin, we would be suicidal to do it. You have to understand what the trial was about. Not that I had committed a crime or anything. I've dedicated part of my life, and it's one of my contributions to the scientific world, and you can look up the literature on it and so forth. You see, I've dedicated part of my life to showing that there is absolutely no such thing on the face of the earth as hypnosis. It does not exist. Yes, Hitler was trained by a hypnotist. Yes, some key people were involved in the support of the hypnotist. But as the trial, when the person sued me and said, I'm going to win Kreskin's $50,000, I can prove hypnosis because they had a psychiatrist and it was a hypnotist that sued me. She lost her life savings because of what I showed and what I've constantly showed in demonstrations. I can do what we associate with hypnosis through mental suggestion, the power of suggestion, and that is one of the keys that is not fully understood today, how powerful suggestion is. And one of the men that proved it just before World War II had a radio show that was not very popular. It was called the Mercury Theater, and it was a man I got to know very well, Orson Welles. And one night he decided to do a show based on a famous story, and it was about the invasion of the Martians.
Amazing. You know what, Kreskin, in business, I call it theater of the mind. It's theater of the mind. It's what you project out comes back. I use it in business every day. The listeners, I've been preaching this for the last couple of weeks. It's going to be, listen, it's amazing what the mind can do.
I could go on, but that's a great question. I could go on. That's a whole other story because I knew Wells very well. But I appreciate that story. Yep. Yes, I do plant thoughts, but hopefully they're positive. Thanks for calling.
Joan, thanks for...
All right.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks, Joan. So, Kreskin, we're going to talk a little bit about your resume.
I didn't say the car. I never explained the car. Don't worry that I never told the Carson story.
We're going to get to that.
No, we won't have time.
We're going to get to that. Listen, we'll extend the show. WABC wants to extend the show already. We'll extend the show. They want to go 2 hours with it, but it's all right. Listen. So the Amazing Kreskin The guy is absolutely, the word amazing is there for a reason. He had his own television series, his own board
5.5 years was the series, 5.5 years.
Amazing. His own board game by Milton Bradley, over 20 books published, had a major motion picture inspired by his work.
The great Buck Howard.
Well, absolutely. Yep. In 1970, you headlined your own television series. Right, called
5.5 years.
5.5 years.
It was in Canada where it was originated, the second highest rated program in the nation for over 2 years. Yeah, it was
right. I clearly will never go to Las Vegas and mention your name because you're
that's
dangerous in Las Vegas. You're dangerous in Las Vegas. Absolutely, with a deck of cards. Tom Hanks in 2009 released a feature film, The Great Buck Howard. Right.
Yeah. And John Malkovich played me, and it was very inspiring. As Hank said. He said, Kreskin, all right, I will let you in on this inside story, because as we walked at the carpet on Broadway, on the red carpet, when we got to the end, Hanks hugged me. Hanks has the genuineness of personality that
amazing.
A handful of people, including Regis, has. What you see on camera, and I've known Regis most of my life, is the same as you see off camera.
Humble, very humble.
So
very humble.
Hank said to me, thanks for letting my son play your road manager.
Wow.
He says, I want to tell you the good and the bad side about making the movie. And I thought, this doesn't sound like Hank. Hank said, well, the good side is that John Malkovich, for days, studied all the TV pictures of you, getting the mannerisms. He says, now I want to tell you the bad side. I say, yeah, Tom, up. He says, Kreskin, so help me God, for 3 days, John Malkovich shook hands the way you do with 30 of us a day for 3 minutes. Well, we needed chiropractors.
Well, my arm is broken. My arm is broken from shaking hands already. In 2010, Dinner for Schmucks, right? Dinner for Schmucks, The Amazing Kreskin, which featured and exposed everything about you, right? You were on Johnny Carson after that, Regis Philbin, David Letterman, Jimmy Fallon, Neil Cavuto, Howard Stone. I need Howard Stern. I need the next 4 hours.
Wait till I tell you the story about Carson.
We're going to tell about Carson. Hold on. 2014, okay, you brought a whole new realm of Kreskin arsenal, right? And mentally trained up to 3 boxers into victory.
Oh yeah, including Helly Strice is her name.
Right.
Helly. But at the bottom line is, let me tell you the story about. No, I didn't give her. I did not give her more strength. That's magic. No, that's not what I did. I didn't give her some powers to control her.
No, you get into her mental training.
When I conditioned her, I caused her to become. Her trainer, who I just talked to a few days ago, said, she became so alert that she anticipated the blows before they came to her. So she was able to deflect them. And and that was exciting here in New York.
I want to hear more about that, because that's right in my core competency. That's entrepreneurship. That's business. When you're out there, you got to be mentally trained. You got to be ahead of the game. You got to be ready to go. Doesn't matter where you are, what deal you're in, what business you're in. We're going to take a break here, a short break, because we're going to run out of time. We have a lot more to talk about. Kreskin, 800
and tell the Carson story.
We're going to tell the Carson story. We'll be back in a few moments, and phone lines are open.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I have been on these supplements from Balance of Nature for a couple of years now. And prior to that, I used other supplements. They did nothing for me. This has been absolutely wonderful. I have never felt so good, and I have felt so much better health-wise. My cholesterol's down. All my numbers are down, and it's been great. So I highly recommend Balance of Nature.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code WABC. That's promo code WABC. Order today.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text while driving.
These days, you can put your logo on anything, but that doesn't mean you should. Let us show you what a difference the right promotional product can make to help build your brand and attract new, long-lasting customers. We're 4imprint, the nation's leading team for promotional items. Today, we're revealing the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers, absolutely free. Simply text SWAG to 88988. With 4imprint, your logo can make lasting impressions, attract new customers, and help your brand to boost your bottom line. With thousands of items to choose from and free art assistance, we'll make your logo shine with fast, reliable customer service that's second to none. High-quality products, exclusive items, and popular brands at great prices with on-time shipment guaranteed. Unleash the profit-boosting power of your logo with 4imprint. Discover the top 3 promotional items for driving new customers for free by texting SWAG to 88988. SWAG to 88988.
77 WABC. Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-466-9625. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-466-9625.
Trusted, valued, respected. Those are the qualities you should be looking for when thinking about a funeral chapel. Plaza Jewish Community Chapel is that funeral chapel. Established in 2001 by the Jewish community of New York, we are here for you as we continue to do the sacred work of caring for those when a death has occurred. Plaza Jewish Community Chapel is a trusted resource when it comes to end-of-life planning. Plaza's values have clearly resonated with the community as we are now one of the leading Jewish funeral chapels in the New York area. Please reach out to us for pre-planning services or to talk about funeral arrangements when you are in need. Visit our website at plazajewish.org. That's plazajewish.org to learn more. Call us at 212-769-4400. That's 212-769-4400. We're available 24 hours a day. Plaza Jewish Community Chapel is truly a service, not a business.
77 WABC.
Hi, we're back. It's Tom Maoli. We have the Amazing Kreskin. We're going to take one call, and then we're going to wrap up with Kreskin because I want to talk about his career. We have Barry Farber. Barry, brilliant genius business. Barry Farber.
Is that who's on the phone?
Barry's been on my show a number of times.
I love
Barry's,
this man.
he's amazing. Barry's out in front of Madison Square Garden with a T-shirt gun, shooting T-shirts.
Oh, my
people
God.
are lined up.
Don't
He's shooting.
tell me.
Oh, it's absolutely amazing, Kreskin. Barry, how's it going out there in front of Madison Square Garden?
We're all out of T-shirts. You guys are amazing. We got the Amazing Kreskin and Tom Maoli. Go big all the way. Let me throw one question to both of you. Okay?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Tom thinks big all the time. His mind is unique in the way he thinks. Kreskin, what is the key for thinking big? What does that do when you think big? I mean, like you shoot for Mars, land on the moon, kind of thinking. How does that work?
The dilemma, of course, is that so much of news and so many stories are based on negativeness, and you have to learn to rise above it. By the way, let me say this to all you listeners and all you people coming out of college. Maybe someone needs to tell you this, because if you want me to hire somebody, and I pick people to hire, I pick people who've risen above of disasters, above negativeness and so forth, because we learn more from failures than success. Read.
I love it. I love it,
and if you learn,
Great advice.
you learn to find in anything, even the most negative, something that can be built out of it. Some of the greatest successes in life have come that way. That's one of the keys. You've got to shift your way of thinking and not obsess with the negative, but find out where are there sparks or clues here and there that could take us beyond this.
Great advice. Great advice for people who are trying to build a business, trying to get out there, trying to get out of the cubicle, trying to move on with their life, build wealth. Barry,
And
thanks for the call. We're going to cut you off.
Thanks, Barry.
Sorry you ran out of T-shirts. Let the crowd know that next week there'll be more T-shirts. And we're going to go on. Kreskin, we have more. Listen, again, we talked about the boxing. We talked about what you did, how you got in their heads.
I should tell the Carson story.
We're going to tell the Carson story. I promise you we're going to tell the Carson story. Forget that, okay? Through the years, you received worldwide recognition, okay, on extraordinary predictions. On the late-night Jimmy Fallon show, you predicted the 2012 United States election 18 months before the election. On Fox TV, on the Super Bowl. You made a prediction of who was going to win the Super Bowl.
Got the score right. I got the score right.
Score right, which is amazing.
That was unusual.
I'm calling you
was
this
crazy.
Sunday. I want to see the score of the Jet game. In 2016, you released your 20th book entitled The Real Time, featuring predictions for the next several hundred years. We got to read. Everybody's got to read that book. Everyone. Or you got to go to Kreskin's website. It's www.amazingkreskin.com. You won't get off it. It's just the stuff on there is just absolutely amazing. You can hit my website. It's www.tommaoli.net. That'll give you information on our show. We talked about the presidential election with Donald Trump, how you predicted that. I have a question for you. It's very important. We're going to get to the Johnny Cars. At the age of, because it's very important for entrepreneurs, business people that are out there striving. Everybody thinks, well, I'm too old. It's too late. I can't build.
Think that way.
Right. I can't build my career. I'm never going to get out of the cubicle. I'm never going to get to where I want to get. I'm too old. I should have done it when I was young. Okay. At the age of 82 years old, you are. There's no sign of slowing down at all. You continue to pack audiences around the world. You continue to do TV shows. You're writing books. You're on my radio show, which is amazing in itself. Thank you for showing up here.
My pleasure.
Why? Let me ask you a question, because people ask me the question, right? You built wealth. You built all these businesses. You have everything. You could buy whatever you want. Why don't you stop?
Very, very simple reason.
Go ahead.
Because
important question for the listeners. Why don't you stop?
The reason I don't stop is I don't consider this merely a job. I consider this challenge in my life that I take every day an exciting adventure. My life is an adventure, and I can't imagine stopping what I'm doing because I take challenges with audiences that I've never met before every day of my life. This is not oh, yes, I've announced. All right, you'll hear it now because I heard it last night since I'm 82 years old. I announced, and you might want to record this, folks.
Go ahead.
My retirement. I intend to retire 10 days after I pass away.
I had to think about that for a minute. I'm with you, Kreskin. You know what? I'm right with you. I may go 11. I may go 11 days.
There's always these competitors and what
no
have
doubt.
you.
I got to beat you.
But
absolutely.
I want to also say this as something to hear about for people in show business, because show business, Bob Hope told me, he says, Kreskin, I never heard it said in my life more eloquently, because if you have talent, listen to me, folks.
Go ahead. Very
and
important.
Don't walk away as this a negative thing. Forget about other businesses where there's more potentials. If you got talent, if you take advantage of every opportunity, if you have skill, if you never stop working and so forth, and you keep looking for other ways and so forth, listen to me, and then I'll explain this.
Go ahead. We have 1 minute here, Kreskin. We're going to run out of time.
Listen to me. You have a minuscule chance of making it in the show business industry, but those who want to make it and are dedicated will never let that stand in the way, because that is the sign of the winners in the end. No matter how minuscule the chances are, you can be one of those people that have those chances. And Hope said he never heard it said more eloquently.
I love it. Amazing. I say it a different way for business, entrepreneurs, people who want to build wealth. People who want to build wealth, I say it week after week after week. I end my show with one simple thought process for everyone to take home with them, and that is winners never quit. Quitters never winners never quit. Quitters never win. You should never give up. As long as there's a hope, there's a chance. You should just keep going, Kreskin. Kreskin, I don't know what to say, but thank you. Thanks for being on my show. There's people outside lined up for your autograph and pictures. You're amazing.
And
you're amazing.
Spirit of broadcasting, can I just say this? To be continued.
Thank you.